Now, before I begin, have you ever had one of those moments where you say a word over and over and over again, and it doesn't sound like a word anymore? They call that jamais vu, and you can think of it as the opposite of deja vu. It's when something you know so well suddenly seems so extremely unfamiliar. Just keep that in mind. It's a very important time for us right now. Apologies for reminding you, but the first exams begin in less than a week from now, 11th of May. Right now, a lot of us are making a huge decision as to what direction our lives will take. Also, during all this madness, now is the time that we finish off the final pages for each of our Gosfordhill history. It's happening. It's the climax. It's now. So does this mean everything else behind us has just been leading up to now? Or maybe everything is still leading up to end of uni, or to when we finally get our dream job. And then what next? I think during moments like this, it's easy and maybe even comforting to think, this is it, and this is the now. Is it? Let me take you back slightly. I came to Gosfordhill School halfway through year 7. It was a big turning point for me. I was thinking, I just came over here from New Zealand, now I'm in big school, now I'm in a different country, now everyone's taller than me. The mini year 7 me had to learn new in-jokes, got lost without a map, and didn't get sarcasm. It's a very British thing. I'm sure you'll all agree, especially our 6th members who are from abroad, that adapting to any new place is hard. So I thought this was a very important now for me, something that defined me. Then, before I knew it, GCSEs. Now juggling about 12 subjects at once, I was thinking, now we're actually doing something that really matters academically. But besides the exams, Key Stage 4 was the largest segment of my school life. I've matured through it, created countless memories, and made deeper relationships with my friends. It was when I started to feel more more like a part of the school rather than a visitor from a land afar that I was. That's why after those 3 long years, it felt like we reached the end of some kind of an era that I thought would always be my now. Then I quickly realized it wasn't really the end of anything. We were now 6th formers. You know, I have to be honest, before I came to this 6th form, I was tempted by offers from a few other schools, especially Magdalen College School. An extremely prestigious place a lot of people want to get into. In late 2012, Magdalen gave me an offer, but with a condition. I wasn't allowed to take further maths as one of my subject choices. Why? They were not confident I would get an A star. Now at this point I wasn't really aiming for Oxbridge, but just out of curiosity I asked them whether this would be a disadvantage if I were to apply to Oxbridge. This was their response. You have to know that you are not an Oxbridge candidate. Those words rang inside my head every time I had doubts about myself. But in the end, I stayed where people believed in me and cheered me on the whole way through, so that I wouldn't have to live by those words. I would think it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. So from all that, which part of school was my defining moment? It's got to be all of them. Or none of them. Not because I can't pick favorites, but because I don't believe that any version of now I lived in is more or less essential than others in telling me who I am. I became a part of this place during my GCSEs, and Magdalen helped me see where I really belong. None of them individually would do a good enough job in telling me what kind of life I have been leading up till now, or what kind of life I'll lead in the future. Yes, let's think about the future. We shouldn't for a moment think that the things we do now will put us on this one linear future, because they don't have to. Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of California, as well as a Hollywood star. Julia Child was a government spy before becoming a chef. How many moms and dads here knew they'd be doing what they're doing now? How many teachers here knew they'd be teaching at Gosford when they were 17, when they were 18? There won't be a single period of time, a single now that would help us predict where we'll end up. Not even now, not even our A-levels. Let's try to get a broader look on what defines us. Instead of a series of steps reaching to the top, let's imagine our lives as a very bumpy stretch of road with occasional big stones to go over, like our exams. The stones won't define the road. The whole road itself will. The entire road behind you telling you who you are now, and the road ahead shaping you into who you will be. That's why now is not the most important time of our lives, and yet, without now, they just won't be the same. A gap in the road. So thank you for letting me be a part of your unique road, and I'm glad that you were a part of mine. And also, the past year hasn't been an easy one for me. Personally, more than academically, and some very special members of staff have supported me, watched over me through the whole journey, and still are. And I'd like to thank them. I'd like them to know how grateful I am that they were there to help me get over this particularly difficult stone on the road. Just to finish off, I hope you go home today thinking about how your future is likely to be more unexpected, more open than you might think now, about how, in hindsight, so many of your past nows is just as important as your present now, and about how 36 nows in a speech is enough to trigger a jamais-vu, because it's starting to sound very weird now. Over and over and over again, we will go through a million nows. Now is something we know so well, but each now will be new, and each now will be unfamiliar. It's not long till it's all over, and I wish you the best of luck with all of your future nows to come.